What did you call that installation?
Said, look up Pine Gap. It's an American installation, a military installation inside Australia.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, but I can't hear you very well.
It's a military installation in Australia.
Well, I heard
called
that part.
what? Pine Gap, isn't it? Called Pine Gap.
What?
Yeah, Pine Gap.
Pine
I
Gap.
know about this.
Okay.
I know all about it. I know all about this. This might blow your socks off. This is the Australian.
Sure
okay, Area 57 of Australia. It might blow your socks off to look into this. There's underground facilities there that actually run underground, under the ocean, and all the way to the United States. Underground.
Dude, absolutely. Think about just think about Australia. Do you really think that whole fucking continent is absolutely not useful? You really think that whole there's Melbourne, there's Sydney, they're all on the fucking coast. Do you really think that's all that's going on there? You really think that there's nothing going on the rest of the whole fucking country? I guarantee you there's shit going on underground there, and probably even above ground there, for sure. But
it's like Pine Gap could see your stealth aircraft. They thought they were impervious to radar, and then like the stealth aircraft was detected in Australia. So then they set up a fucking Pine Gap.
Well, and that kind of leads into what I was about to say, which is, like I said, I'm sure you heard about this, even all the way over there in Australia, is President Trump of the USA just announced that he wants to create the Space Force, and he tasked people of the government to actually make this happen. Now, the first thing I want to say is the Space Force. That sounds like an old shitty name of an old shitty Atari game. Like, really? You can't come up with a better name than Space Force? But second of all, you know what I think he's really doing? Because as we're all aware, the president of the USA, he has a very low level of clearance, of security clearance, than a lot of other individuals and other agencies in America. Like, he's not privy to Black Ops operations. And I think he is aware of that. And so I think what he's really doing, I feel like he knows that there are Black Ops programs. He knows that those are going on. And what he's really doing is he's calling forth a space force so that they have an official reason to start investigating into space, so that they have to run into the Black Ops programs. Like, he's it's basically like, okay, you're not going to tell me about the Black Ops? Well, guess what? I'm going to make a force that fucking investigates that whole area. So you're either going to tell me about it, or we're going to go out there and find out about it. It's one or the other. I think that's what it is. I don't think he really fully intends on really making a space fleet, because I think he knows that we have shit already up there. He's just giving them a reason to have to come forward, if that makes any sense.
I would say he's trying to find the missing NASA money, because there's shitloads of money that's gone to NASA that's spared no.
Yes, that exactly in the same point that I just made, exactly what you said too. That's all under the same roof.
Shitloads of fucking money, and we don't know where it's going to NASA.
No, it's not going to NASA. It's going to Black Ops. That's beyond.
Oh yeah,
NASA.
because that's their secret thing.
Yeah. No, that's the same, Mr. DJT. That's the same exact point that I was making. Exactly that.
Well said, both of you. I applaud both of you for agreeing with this, and I agree with you completely.
Black Ops is more than Navy if you understand anything.
And I don't think you have any clue.
Maybe honestly, I thought it was more the Marines.
I don't think you have any clue about what Pine Gap really is.
You're correct. I do not know. I know nothing about Pine Gap. You're correct.
I do. It's a U.S. base on Australian soil that's got very few Australians involved with it. It's a total U.S. military mission.
So is that
in the middle of the fucking desert of Australia?
Is that Navy or Marines?
Off aircraft, way up.
Who really fucking knows?
Well, but in your opinion, Mr. DJT, is that the Navy or the Marines?
The Navy was ahead of the MK Ultra project. It's all the Navy. It's not the fucking Marines. The Marines are like really good fucking soldiers that you send in grunts to do the fight. They've got no show in that.
Okay.
Do you understand what he's saying?
Yeah. No, I'm kind of surprised because I always thought it was the other way around. I thought the Marines.
No, the Marines are the grunts. They get thrown in and blown up and blamed for everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm coming to understand right now.
Go look at the MK Ultra project. It's under the Navy, not the fucking Marines. The MK Ultra project was under the Navy.
Well, yeah, and I can tell just in the genuinity of your voice, I can tell that you know what you're talking about.
Well, I took bullshit out of it, so don't believe me. You do your own research.
Yeah, I will, actually, because one of my best friends is, well, it doesn't really matter, I guess, but he's...
It does. Yeah, it does.
Well, maybe it does. He's in the, he's in the MARSOC program of the Marines, which is basically the equivalent of the Navy SEALs, but the Marines. And not only that, but he actually got what they call the Gung Ho Award, which means that all of the people in the MARSOC program individually voted for my best friend to be the number one guy in the MARSOC program. Like, he's the number one undercover special ops Marines guy.
Okay, then that means he's the number one patsy to go down as a fucking goof for the government and die.
But it's not that simple. He does a lot of counterintelligence.
Yeah, I know, but that's what they used to be a patsy.
Yeah, but they never...
They set these people up.
They did send him on very, for example, parachuted
and if they need someone to be a patsy, he'll be the first one in line. I'm sorry.
It's not. I mean, you're basically right in the most basic sense. You're pretty much right, but at the same time, it's not that.
It's
simple.
Just so easy for them to do that to him because they make him look like a hero, and everyone trusts him, and they send him in, and he's like, oh, you're the hero, and everyone's behind him, and they just pull the carpet out.
Look,
you're very right, and you're also very wrong. Yes, he was used as a patsy, and he admits that himself in multiple situations, but he also he was a very key part in
so it's kind of what you're saying. It's kind of hard to make him into a patsy when he's a real fucking life hero.
Well, I'm just saying you can't wrap two gifts under one present. I mean, he had multiple roles. I don't even know if that's an expression. I just came up with that. But
Andrew's trying to talk. Go ahead, Andrew.
The Pat Tillman story. Did you investigate it? Did you read it? Did you read the fucking generals taking the fifth, all on that. Pat Tillman, the NFL player that went into the fucking army after he had a $10 million grant. No?
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I did
that's
not.
new to me, man.
Watch that fucking documentary, man, because that will blow your fucking mind. He was a guy that was shot by enemy fire, and he was shot by friendly fire, and then he was talking about how he's going to expose all this shit. That's what's going on.
Is there any way you can send us? Can you send us a link to that?
I can tell you straight out, my cousins were policemen in Ontario here, and they were shot by friendly fire by their own goddamn officers on a drug bust. Look, and they quit the force. Two of my cousins quit the force because they were shot at by their own fellow officers.
Yeah.
So I totally fucking believe you.
That's why
all the generals took the fifth. Every one of them. And the people that piece that together, if you watch the documentary, the Pat Tillman story, just fucking go online and get it on YouTube. Pat Tillman story. A famous NFL player. I'm fucking Australian, I know this.
I'm going to write this down right now.
Dude, yeah. No. Hey, Andrew, is there any way that you can send us a link to that documentary so that I can see it?
No, man, it's on Netflix. It's
Pat Tillman story.
What? Yeah. Well, honestly, I can't hear you very well. So
he said the Pat Tillman story.
The Pat Tillman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it comes right up on Netflix.
Yeah, look at what they did, and all the generals took the Fifth Amendment. All the generals took the Fifth Amendment, and they were calling them out.
See that's how you know, right there. When everybody takes the Fifth Amendment, that's how you know that there's some fuckery going on, right there.
Yeah, it's fucking.
And how fucking sad is that? And I'm an Australian, and I know that.
That's pretty fucking sad, and I agree with you, sir.
It is pretty sad that I've never heard about this. I agree. It's pretty fucking sad.
And you know what's even more sad is you're an American and you don't even know about Pine Gap.
Yes, that is sad. And that's what happens when you're an American. You're distracted by all this fucking bullshit that we surround ourselves by. Like, dude, I'm living in Phoenix, Arizona. Can you imagine all the fucking bullshit?
I'm a Canadian. He's an Australian. We know what your fucking country is doing. They got shit going on that you don't even fucking know. I actually think that there's an underground tunnel from Pine Gap all the way to America, underground, under the oceans.
Well, I know for a fact that because of my friend that's in Marines, I do know for a fact that there are underground transit tunnels that run from the west coast to the east coast of North America.
If it's not a tunnel, it is definitely some sort of Stargate or something like Stargate. It's a portal.
No, but they actually have underground transportation that they can get from the east coast to the west coast completely underground.
They can zap
they have
all the way. No, they can zap from Pine Gap to wherever in America. Yes, you're right. I'm not sure how they're doing it, but they can do it.
Well, maybe. Honestly, I wouldn't doubt it. But what I'm saying is that all I know for sure that there are underground caverns and tunnels and military bases under the ground.
Oh, some kind of hyperactive railway, like North something America. That just goes blast and they can just fucking 3 or 4 seconds be there.
Trust me. No, I understand what you're saying, Mike. But what I'm saying is I don't know that for sure. But what I do know for sure is that there are underground taverns that extend from the west coast to the east coast of North America. That's all I know.
I already know about all that shit. Now, this one is even weirder. How the fuck did they get to Pine Gap? How do they get to Pine Gap from there?
That's what I'm saying is I don't know that. I don't know that, and I cannot speak about that because I don't know.
Can I say something to you guys? Okay?
Dude,
all right.
I met some Marines in Thailand when I was there last time, right? And I said, what the fuck's going on with Trump? And they said, well, Trump told us there are no rules of engagement with ISIS. He just told us to fuck them up, to attack them. And if you understand what the rules of engagement were in Vietnam, you get what the hell I'm talking about. There are no rules. Just fucking get them.
Yeah, but here's the thing about ISIS is that guess where all of their weapons and all of their ammunition and all of their shit came from?
Yeah, but no, what he's saying,
it was produced by Americans.
No, Trump's put the boys into a feeding frenzy now. Just get them, kill them, go get them. I understand what he's saying.
Trust me, I understand that.
It came from America, and it was through Saudi Arabia.
What? Say that again.
All their shit was America, and it came through Saudi Arabia.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is it came from originally all of their weapons, all of their ammunition came and was manufactured and produced and knowingly sold from North America.
And that was the bomb.
ISIS is literally funded by North America. Yes, it might be through Saudi Arabia. There might be some laundering going on in between the scenes, but when you really plot point A from point B, it comes from North America, and that's where they're getting all their shit from.
And if you understand the Vietnam War, look, the Vietnamese didn't win one fucking major battle. One fucking major battle. But if you understand the rules of engagement there, you understand the war. They wanted to go on because why? Because big companies were making money.
Exactly. Like if they were in position to take out the main target, they were actually told to stand down.
They were funding
totally
both
contradicts
sides.
The whole point of the whole mission. Like they were literally, that's like just to make an equivalent analogy. That's like if we were actually trying to hunt down Osama bin Laden, and they found out where he is, and they surrounded him, and then the general said, "Hey, don't shoot, stand down, let's retreat." That's basically the same rules of engagement as the Vietnam War.
Well, if you understand the rules of engagement in the Vietnam War, if the anti-aircraft gun wasn't in service, you couldn't attack it.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
So the war was meant to go on for years and years past it, but the political climate wasn't conducive to that. So, we're going to get out, and we're going to push the planes off the ship and all that shit.
Exactly. You're exactly right. And yes, it was meant to go on because that means more weapons being manufactured by big corporations. That means more areas of other parts of the world being reconstructed by American corporations. They literally wanted the war to last as long as possible so that they can make as much money as possible.
Shit, I don't remember when I've been on the side of all the people I'm talking to. It's kind of religious now.
Yeah, trust me, dude. I'm not. I might be living in America, but I'm not like, like I fully understand how fucked up of a role that our country has played in not only that war, but the wars before that. I'm dude, like everything you're saying, that's I know I can't hear you very well. I assume you can't hear me very well either, but I can hear you well enough to where that's what I'm trying to say is what you're saying.
But the fact is, the Russians lost 29.9 million people in the Second World War, and the Germans lost 9.9 million. The Russians won the Second World War. No matter what anybody says, the Russians, and I'm not Pollock, won the Second World War because they fucking stayed and they sacrificed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If the Russians lost Stalingrad, the war would be fucking over and we'll be all under the Germans.
Yeah, but exactly. And it's no wonder why all of the German scientists, all the Nazi scientists, a vast majority of them under Operation Paperclip got, relieved of their war crimes for one, but for two, our whole the America NASA program, the whole program that launched all of the Apollo missions to the moon was run by Nazi rocket scientists. Every bit of it.
You took it out of Germany. Yeah, I get that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You're so right. You're a smart dude, man.
Yeah,
don't worry about people fucking with you in Spreaker. You're a fucking smart dude, And
so are you. Yeah.
I'm a fucking Australian guy raving about my Polish heritage because my dad was a fucking underground army kid fighting when he was a fucking kid, 13 years old. It's way harder than me, who was a bodybuilder for so many fucking years. They don't get it. They don't fucking get it. My dad was way harder than I ever fucking was. Because why? Because his fucking mother and father was killed inside Poland, and his 3 fucking brothers were killed by the Nazis.
Wow. Yeah.
And they don't get it. They don't fucking get it. But, I don't care. I am what I am.
Yeah. Well, that's quite amazing of you to come from that lineage and to take such a neutral, intellectual perspective on the whole thing and not take sides. Neutral. You know what I mean?
Russians won World War II. If you talk about the Americans and all the nuclear bombs and all that shit, you're fucking crazy. The Russians lost 29.9 million people. The Germans lost 9 million people. Fuck off. The Russians won World War II. You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Exactly. And that's the point, is that that's the unfortunate point, is that like 95% of Americans think that America won that war. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Like I could not have this conversation with anybody I've ever met in America. Like, this is the first time, like, I can actually say, like, the first time I've talked to somebody that actually has a better perspective, and I can be like, yeah, you're right.
Well, I've got, like, my father's, like, shit in the suitcase and stuff, and I've talked to people before, but they don't get it. They don't fucking get it. My father's picture with the black and white stripes and the Nazi signature over his fucking... And they don't get it. I hate Kurt. I fucking hate you, man, because you don't get it. And Wolfman knows what that's going on about.
Yeah, well, I get you more than you know, and I'm more on your side of things than everybody else over here. And yeah, no, Americans are fucked, dude. We're fucking brainwashed, especially when you look at our textbooks and what we're taught in middle school and high school, even elementary school. It's all complete fucking hogwash.
Other than the government, American people, like, I've met Mexicans in the street. Like, I lived in Chicago for 2 years. Mexicans, white people, black people and stuff. the real people are great. It's the government that sucks.
Yeah, it's not the. You're right. It's not the everyday people. Most everyday people, they just, they wake up, they go to Starbucks, they get a coffee, and they fucking, go to work programming some program or something. Like there's nothing there. But it's our government that misrepresents the American people every day. They misrepresent us. They get us into wars that nobody fucking wants to be in. None of us. Not one fucking American citizen wants to be in Afghanistan or whatever the fuck they're doing. None of us. It's the American government is completely disassociated with the American people.
But the worst part? I look at the graduation shit because I'm a fucking engineering and shit, and I'll look at the graduations and shit. Like, if you're not the top 10%, you're going into the army and you're risking your fucking life. I watch those graduations, I'm like, these kids are a fighter for the gunplay and that shit. And it's what your government gives them. You need a better government. Your people are fucking... I've lived among your people. Your people are great. Your government sucks. Way worse.
Exactly. Yes. That's my point. Exactly. Our government sucks. Our people are cool, but the government fucking sucks. And unfortunately, they are the ones that make the decisions on the quote behalf of our people, which none of us, not one of us agrees with what they're doing. You ask anybody on the streets of America if we agree what the fuck is going on there. No, none of us do. But yet, that's what the American government does. The American government is control of all four branches of the American military. So we have this, it makes total sense why the rest of the world looks at Americans as being these stupid, dumb fucks that just fucking kick door every country they see. Because, yeah, that's what our government does. But that's not at all what we want to do. At all. I feel like I speak at least for about 90% of our population. There might be a hardcore fucking really Jewy, really fucking supremacist, fucking white, fucked up 10% part of the population, maybe 5%, but 90 to 95% of our population, we don't want any of this shit going on, dude. Like we just want peace, man. That's all we want, and I feel like it's the same way across the world too.
It's funny too because I looked up the Australian military veterans living on the streets. And I couldn't find shit. Like British military veterans living on the streets, and I look up the American military living on the streets, and I'm like, holy fuck, that's all yours. No access partners with you are living on the streets except the military veterans from America. Why the fuck is that?
Yeah, see, it doesn't... Dude, you're right. Yeah, it doesn't... It literally doesn't make sense. Like, especially... Dude, if you could watch the news that is projected to the American people every day on CNN, Fox, ABC, it literally does not make sense at all. It doesn't make sense. It's completely contradictory to what's actually happening in the world. But luckily, we have some. Well, luckily, there's the internet where people like me and other hosts of other shows that I'm affiliated with, we actually take other people's perspectives and actually apply them to the situation. And that's my number one rule. It's like whatever situation you're looking at, you have to take as many different perspectives on the situation as possible. The more different perspectives you get, the more the more each perspective has in common, and the more clear that what's actually going on is going on. And what becomes very clear is that what the American people are being projected into through the news is through the mainstream media is absolute fucking horse shit. And it's absolute fucking lies. And the American people, this is just, everybody's just a cog in the system over here. They don't even know what they're, everybody's working towards the economy. We're building the economy. But what's that economy doing? That economy is funding the military industrial complex that is kick fucking the rest of the world in ways that the rest of the world is not going to tolerate for too much longer.
Yeah, but isn't it way worse than that? Because I heard about, I don't know, about a year and a half ago, that the Veterans Day, the NFL did, was funded by fucking taxpayers. They weren't even paying for that shit, but they were going on with the rhetoric that, we're supporting the veterans, and it was all taxpayers funding that. And all these fucking people that owned NFL grounds, golf courses that got taxed as swamp marshes, weren't paying shit. And they got shamed by that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no there's no two ways around that. It's pretty fucked up, man. And I just happen to be someone that lives, I just happen to be born here. And I grew up here, and that's just, that doesn't mean that I agree with anything that our government or military is doing. And I feel like I speak for a vast majority of people that do live here. Like I said, I totally, well, first of all, I think our time is kind of limited here. But at the same time, I feel like, let's see, we've got about 15 minutes. Most of Americans don't, what can I say? I totally understand why the rest of the world is pretty sick of the USA, kickdooring country to country, going here, establishing military bases here, and not only the USA, but also the UN in general, which tends to be biased towards the USA, which I think is pretty obvious. But that's not the American people. Like, the actual people that live here, we most of us know what the fuck is going on. Like, most of us are pretty aware. I don't know. There's probably a good percent that doesn't really. They're just too oblivious. They don't give a fuck. They go to work at Walgreens. They fucking work for 12 hours. They go home. They eat macaroni and cheese, and they watch Netflix. And they wake up the next day. But little do they know that they're fueling. They're just another cog in the whole system that fuels the American military industrial complex, which is quite literally disrupting the rest of the world, if I couldn't put it better than that.
Mate, I understand that. Absolutely. And I'll tell you something. When I lived in America for 2 fucking years, I loved the American people. Not the fucking government, but the Mexican people, white people, the black people. No one ever fucked with me. I'm the big fucking guy, but who the hell cares?
Yeah.
American people were way warmer to me than the Australian people. But your government fucking sucks. The military industrial complex, the chemical industrial complex, and the pharmaceutical industrial complex fucking sucks.
Oh man, you are so correct. Especially the pharmaceutical. I mean, yes, for sure, the government sucks fuck The military-industrial complex sucks fuck. But you brought up another good point, which is the pharmaceutical industry sucks a whole shitload of fuck. They are the most corrupt motherfuckers on this fucking planet, and that's half the reason why they're numbing, essentially numbing every fucking person under medications to just subscribe to this sort of American economy. This whole, once again, just numbing them into fueling this whole fucking thing. That's basically...
Well, I fucking posted the link to Vax. I'm looking at the fucking DVD staring in the head. It's not an anti-vax film. It's an anti-combination vax. And people get autism from it. But, it's an anti-vax film. That's what they say. Bullshit. I don't fucking even know what they're watching.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But you can't tell anybody, you fucking talk to people at work and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, you're an anti-vaxxer. You're a guy that doesn't want to be safe. I'm like, no, I just want to know the truth.
Exactly. Dude, exactly. Yeah. Like yeah, it's crazy, man. Like you really, it's funny because you actually, at least in my opinion, you actually, like, everything you're saying is exactly what most Americans think. Most of us. Very, yeah, like most of us, maybe at the least 85%. I would say 95%. But at the very least 85%.
You're going to work and they call like a fucking voter day for your fucking district or whatever on Wednesday, and you can't get the day off, so you can't even fucking vote. You can't even vote for fucking conscience.
Yeah, that's a very good point too. Yes, exactly. And dude, and even if you could vote, have you ever? There's a documentary called. It's called. I'm not sure how well you can hear me, but it's called Hacking Democracy. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, so you know exactly what I'm talking about then.
Absolutely, because you can't hack a computer that's not online. So it's a code that's been developed by other people to hack.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. Dude, see, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's all fucked up. It's all fucked up, and nobody here trusts me when I say, like, nobody here agrees with what's going on. But at the same time, what are we going to do? What am I going to do? Well, what I'm doing is I host a radio show and I talk about the shit. That's about as much as I can do. But most people don't even do that. They just go work at Walmart, They just go work at Walmart and they fucking, run the cashier. They fucking work at Target. They fucking work at whatever. They make video games, like there's no.
I was trying to tell people to wake up, like, Alex Jones or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, maybe it's better for you to stay asleep now. I'm sick of this. I'm fucking done.
Dude, I'm fucking sick of it too, and that's why. That's exactly why I do my radio show. That's the main drive behind it. I'm sick of it, and I'm not.
I can't really talk anymore because, like, today I saved 2 people's jobs because I said, don't fucking say a thing when you're going up in front of HR. That's what I did. And everybody else said, yeah, don't say anything. And, like, they got the fucking cue, but you can't tell anybody anything anymore. It's all the PG-13, the fucking... TG fucking rights or, you know, race point shit. You can't tell anybody anything in football.
Yeah, it's definitely yeah. I mean, the mind fuckery goes pretty deep, you know. But I think I don't know. Maybe I'm just hoping. Maybe I have a little bit more hope than most people, but I feel like most people around the world. I feel like there's more people like you and me than we recognize. I think there's, especially in America. Well, I know for a fact in America, there's a lot more, you know, like I'm sure, like what you guys see in the news over there, like what people are voting for, like whatever, like, no, that's not at all what the average American thinks, you know, like most people are pretty aware that everything is fucking corrupt. And, it goes a long way. And if that's going on in America, I can only imagine that it's even tenfold. There's more awareness going on around well, at least in European / Australian / you know, like Western sort of countries, you know, like Australia, like New Zealand, in Europe. Now, Asia, that's a whole different ballgame, you know, Asia, Southeast Asia, Japan, you know, that's a whole different ballgame. But when it comes to the rest of us, and also South America, you know, there's nobody knows what the fuck is being thought down there. You know, there's half of that shit is a fucking jungle. Nobody fucking knows what's going on down there.
I wish that was true, man. I wish that was true, but you know, I talked to my friend from El Salvador, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're with the Reds." Okay, you with Bernie Sanders that told all his supporters to go with Hillary. Are you fucking kidding me?
Wow. Shit. Yeah, see, I don't know. You know, like I said, you know, I grew up here. I can only speak of what I'm around, you know, so I guess I really can't speak for the rest of the world, you know.
I'm talking about what I'm around. And like the fucking people like our drones. They don't want to do anything. I've got a job. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to stand out. I'm going to do and nod my head to anything they say.
Yeah, that's a huge problem. I mean, it's more than a problem. It's more like an infection.
Yeah, it's like a fucking disease, like a social disease.
Yeah, it's a social dissociative disease. Yeah, and it's happening. Yeah, you know, it's pretty fucked. And it's just you know, it's like what can we really do? You know, like I can talk to you and we can agree on these things, but that's just 2 people out of 7 billion. You know, like what's everybody else doing? What are they doing? What are they watching? Netflix? What are they you know, what are they
Look, I won a victory today. I told 2 people, don't fucking say anything against management. Just, you know, total line. Don't say a fucking thing.
Yeah, well,
you're right.
That's why we do our show every week, is because this isn't my show. I'm a Wolfman show, which I'm pretty sure he's passed out right now. But you know, we do our show every Friday because we have something to say, and you know, the least we can do is give our 2 cents of opinion about quite literally literally everything that we've talked about this whole conversation. And